Thanks very much for tuning into Unmissable. I'm Nabila Jamal. You're watching News 9. I take you through news from India and across the globe. Our top story today, as I wish our viewers, of course, a very Merry Christmas. We're taking you through the celebrations that turned into cases of violence in multiple parts of the country today. Despite Prime Minister Modi reaching out to the Christian community, we saw instances of violence that were reported through the length and breadth of India on Christmas. Who's to blame? We're going to take you through those details with our panelists. And of course, in our top story on Deep Dive today, Tarique Rahman, the BNP leader, the former Prime Minister's son, who's come back to Bangladesh right ahead of its elections, hoping to revive the BNP party after Sheikh Hasina's ouster. He sees a chance there and he's come back after 17 years of exile. And also on our top story in day to night, Navi Mumbai Airport, a new airport that's opened in Mumbai. Operations have already begun. A big leap within the aviation and for Maharashtra as of today. I start with the headlines. Prime Minister Modi inaugurates Rashtra Prerna Sthal in Lucknow to mark the 101st birth anniversary of Atal Bihari Vajpayee, monument dedicated to BJP icons Vajpayee, Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyay and Shyama Prasad Mukherjee. After Deepu Chandra Das, a Hindu who was lynched to death in Bangladesh, another Hindu man is now beaten to death in Bangladesh's Rajbari over alleged extortion. A man identified as Amrit Mondal and was known locally as a leader of a group called Samrat Bahini has been killed. Now you have Bollywood actress Janhvi Kapoor, who's condemned the barbaric lynching of Deepu Chandra Das in Bangladesh, calling for action against extremism. Internet praises her courage. India successfully tests 3,500-kilometer K4 missile from nuclear submarine INS Arighat, boosting nuclear triad and strategic deterrence. Malayalam TV actor Siddharth Prabhu arrested in Kottayam after car hits a pedestrian. Actor allegedly manhandled locals and used abusive language. The police take him to custody for medical examination. Video of road chaos now going viral. Nidhi Agarwal breaking her silence on Hyderabad mobbing. She says the actor Shivaji's comments blaming the victim was nothing but manipulation. This comes after the actor Shivaji asked the actress to wear saris instead of revealing clothes. Maoist leader Ganesh Uike gunned down in high-risk encounter. In fact, Ganesh Uike carried a bounty of 1.1 crore on his head and has finally been killed. Clashes between rival Christmas carol groups in Kerala's Alappuzha leave several injured. Police cite long-standing youth club dispute. Investigation now underway. The video of the clash now goes viral. Man falls from the 10th floor in Surat while sleeping. Avoids death after his leg gets stuck in a grill 2 floors down. He survived thanks to that. Fire officials rescued the 57-year-old man hours after that ordeal using ropes and safety belts. Video showing him hanging upside down. Barely escapes death. China hits out at the Pentagon report, alleges that it seeks to weaken US-India ties. Says report distorts China's defense policy, sows discord and justifies US military supremacy. Chinese officials denounce claims about cooperation with Pakistan. All right, let's start with our top story here tonight on Christmas prayers that went on in all parts of India. And also it came with fair share of chaos and threats, gundaism that we saw in some parts of the country on Christmas Day. If I could take you through the story. Today began with a strong message of Christmas spirit from the top. On Christmas morning, Prime Minister Narendra Modi attended a service at Delhi's Cathedral Church of Redemption. Hymns and candles, prayers and Christmas post that he also put out. It was a clear outreach to the Christian community. Prime Minister Modi says, may Christmas bring renewed hope, warmth and shared commitment to kindness. While he said that and while we saw that outreach of Prime Minister Modi with the Christian community, what really progressed through the day though was a different picture altogether. What began was certainly Christmas carols and celebrations in the morning, and then towards the afternoon, reports of vandalism, intimidation, gundaism all surfaced from different parts of North and Northeast India, largely from the Hindi heartland. In fact, in Assam's Nalbari district, youths who identified themselves as Bajrang Dal members allegedly entered a Christian school. Christmas decorations were collected and burnt down. Slogans were raised, Jai Shri Ram and Jai Hindu Rashtra. And then in Madhya Pradesh, in Jabalpur, a video went viral showing a visually impaired woman at the Christmas program being publicly abused. And this happened, in fact, 2 days ago. And it's now resonating on Christmas again. In Chhattisgarh, Christmas Eve saw statewide shutdown call in Raipur. Decorations were reportedly vandalized at a mall. In fact, at that mall, they literally pulled down the decorations and tried to intimidate those organizers and really played as party pooper for those who were enthusiastic to see Christmas celebrations there. Well, this is what they got. In Delhi and then Lajpat Nagar market, women and children wearing Santa caps were confronted. They were accused of religious conversion and forced to leave that area. And then in Odisha, hawkers selling Santa caps were chased away. They were told that these symbols don't belong in what vigilantes called a Hindu Rashtra. In Uttar Pradesh, Hindutva groups chanted Hanuman Chalisa outside a well-known church in Bareilly, turning a day of prayer into a day of provocation. And Christian organizations say that this is certainly a pattern that they are seeing. It's not random. Groups like the Catholic Bishops' Conference of India and the Evangelical Fellowship, the United Christian Forum, the Bombay Catholic Sabha, have written to Home Minister Amit Shah, copies marked to the Prime Minister's office, warning about the atmosphere of fear. The CBCI says that these attacks weaken the Constitution's guarantee of freedom of religion. The United Christian Forum says it recorded nearly 834 instances of violence against Christians in 2024 and 706 instances that have been reported as of November 2025. And then there is Kerala. In Palakkad's Puducherry, a children's Christmas carol group was also attacked. Their musical instruments are damaged. The accused has been named as a BJP worker there, in fact with an RSS background. Protests followed after that. And in Kerala, elections are due. It's now become an election issue. Opposition says this really reveals the ruling party BJP's real face. The BJP, of course, denying any kind of backing here to these fringe groups, saying that they don't stand with this kind of intolerance. Points to the Prime Minister's outreach, says the Prime Minister himself attended Christmas service. Well, that's the big question. If the Prime Minister is reaching out to the Christian community, and that should ideally be setting the tone across the country, but extremists, right-wing fringe groups, they're vandalizing and intimidating Christian communities while they celebrate is indeed shocking. The country saw a lot of prayers and celebrations on one hand, but also this kind of disturbance on the other hand that has intimidated the community, no doubt. Let's take you through some of the reactions.
Today, as I meet you, it is with deep pain and concern that I speak over the disturbing rise in attacks on Christians in several parts of our country. During this holy Christmas season, we are pained to hear about it. Peaceful carol singers and faithful gathered in churches before crypts for prayer, etc. have been targeted, causing fear and distress among law-abiding citizens who seek only to celebrate their faith in peace. Such incidents deeply wound the spirit of our constitution, which guarantees freedom of religion. I humbly and earnestly appeal to you, the leadership of India, Honorable Prime Minister Modi ji, Honorable Home Minister Amit Shah ji, Honorable State Leadership, Chief Ministers and so on, to ensure the strict enforcement of law and to extend proactive protection to Christian communities across the country.
All right, there you have it. You have the Christian community now who are hoping for intervention from none other than the Home Minister Amit Shah himself. At this point, they feel threatened. And of course, looking at the number of cases of attacks, in fact, the church itself says 705 odd attacks have happened just as of this year until November. This is not counting the last 2 weeks. We are playing visuals for you here of the last 2-3 days. In the run-up to Christmas, we saw these kind of visuals that surfaced. This was a BJP leader manhandling a young visually impaired girl, claiming that she was trying to convert people. And then we saw people being pushed out of Delhi's Lajpat Nagar just because they were wearing Santa hats, again claiming that they were trying to convert and influence people. Then we saw in malls Christmas celebrations and all the artifacts and the Christmas decor was completely vandalized and brought down. So instances like this have been reported across different parts of the country and have now grown in number, which is what warrants us to ask, why isn't the ruling government breaking silence on this? Should there not be strong condemnation? Even if Prime Minister Modi reached out to the Christian community and put out a tweet there showing clearly he's very much invested in India's diversity and appreciates a festival like Christmas and the Christian community in India and their contributions, while we see Prime Minister Modi doing that, that message doesn't seem to have trickled down to the ground. Law and order has been an issue on Christmas Day. Let me bring in our guest joining us, Advocate Sanjeev Unial, who is a political analyst, Nikhil Jain, political analyst, Reni Abraham, senior journalist, and Father Paul Telakat, who is a former spokesperson of the Syro Malabar Church. Thanks very much, all of you, for joining us. Father Paul, all right, we're trying to connect his line there, but Reni Abraham, if you want to come in on that. Mr. Reni Abraham, your take on the visuals that we see on our screens. Today, about 4 instances of violence that have been reported. Last 2 days, we've seen multiple instances, and it begs us to ask a question as to why, the Home Ministry people and the top, ranks of the government have not strongly condemned this. I'm sure you have the same question to ask. But at the same time, we also know that the BJP has strongly denied any support or backing to fringe groups as such, like the Bajrang Dal. So they say we are not responsible for what they do. Look at our Prime Minister, he's reached out to the community.
Nabila, a very Merry Christmas. I say that
sir,
with a tinge of sadness over the incidents that have been reported across the Indian subcontinent, and not just limited to that, but also Europe, particularly France, and so many European Christian nations that have also witnessed similar disruptions happening over the Christmas celebrations, Christmas Eve celebrations. So that is a given. Coming back to India, the fact of the matter is that Articles 25 to 28 of the Indian Constitution absolutely allow freedom of religion. There is no two ways on that. However, what we are seeing, not only in the Indian subcontinent, but also Europe, is a breakdown and a politically strategized breakdown of the law of the land, respective lands, if I may put it here. So we may, try to look at a kind of a generic answer to this. Fact of the matter is, if I look at my India And if I look at my Prime Minister Narendra Modi of India, he has recently made an outreach to the Muslim community, even earlier to the Bohra community to be specific. More recently, sending a chadar across to the Khwaja Garib Nawaz, Dargah in Rajasthan. And today, on Christmas Day, he attended the Good Morning Mass at the Cathedral Church of New Delhi. So, as a citizen of India, as a Christian who's upset by these kind of ranklings of, people going berserk, let me put you a simple example, anecdotal reference, which I, as a journalist, attended a press conference back in Mumbai in 2017. And that the BJP government was in place in Maharashtra. And it was a press conference taken by the heads of the VHP, Bajrang Dal, and the RSS. And I had one question for the heads of these three wings. And I only asked them a question. I said, tell me one thing. Why is it that you all are only so aggressive and militant whenever there is a government of yours in place? क्या आप लोग दंडे खाने से डरते हो? Because they had raised an issue about the Siddhivinayak temple.
When you say this government in power, are you basically referring to the BJP?
I mean, that's what I asked them a question in Maharashtra. That time Devendra ji was the CM, and they were raising the issue of a Bombay High Court order by Justice
So what I
Oka.
believe then is that you firmly believe that the BJP could be tacitly supporting such fringe groups?
No, no, that is not what I'm saying. I asked the question of these radical right-wingers that why do you wait for? Because the issue they raised then was about a 2008 order of the Bombay High Court regarding the Siddhivinayak temple, which they were raising in, if I stand corrected, it's 2015. I said, why are you raising that issue today? In 2008, the order was given, but today you're agitating in 2015 when it's a BJP government in Maharashtra. So my point to them was this. Did you wait for so many years to take the agitation ahead because you have a BJP government in Maharashtra? Is it because all these years you all were scared that you would get dundas if you took to the streets and agitated about it? Having said that, the fact of the matter is what we are seeing is lawlessness. We have seen our Prime Minister demonstrating that he is not against any religion. He's reached out to the Muslim community, which is the minority community. He's reached out to the Christian community, which is a minority community. And if we are going to hold the powers that be responsible for the fringe radical elements who indulge in this kind of violence, we must be a little more focused and rational about why it's happening. We can simply pass the buck and say,
my question here is, it's happened largely in BJP-ruled states, be it Chhattisgarh, be it Delhi, be it Assam, be it Madhya Pradesh. This is largely the Hindi heartland where cases of such nature have come to light. So, which is why my question here is, why isn't the ruling government breaking silence on this? There should be hard condemnation. It's not one-off instance. It's multiple instances that have come to fore, which is what's left us worried. Christian or not, or any other religion. As a citizen of India, you should be worried if you're looking at visuals like this. Someone trying to impose groups barging in and singing Jai Shri Ram when carols are being sung. That's no secular India.
Fair enough, Nabila. Just the same way I cited the instance of Europe and France, where pre-Christmas Eve celebrations were disrupted by apparently Islamic radicals who did not want to allow any Christmas Eve celebrations to happen in France.
But we are not them.
We
are India. We are not them. There are extremist groups.
Yeah.
There are extremist groups there that are dealt with accordingly there, but India has not seen such intimidation in the past. This has happened increasingly.
Allow me to correct you, Nabila. Please, I don't mean to be rude here by interrupting you. You're one of the most brilliant.
No, but what I'm not settled with, no, sir. What I'm not settled with is you comparing this country with France. I'm not going to take that analogy.
I am saying
you're almost trivializing what's happening here. Then you're saying it's happening also in France. So what's happening here is also.
No. I didn't say it's okay. Neither is okay.
Neither is okay. Absolutely. So no comparison with France. Let's be specific to India.
My only point is We are one global village today, whether we like it or not. So anything that happens in France, or whether anything happens in India, or anything happens in Russia or Ukraine, we are all aware of it. We can't be having blind spots when we are talking about a pan-global issue, which is about how minorities are being targeted. So whether minorities in India, which is Christians or Muslims, or whether it's minorities in Bangladesh who are Hindus, Jains, Buddhists, Sikhs, and Christians, or whether it's minorities in Pakistan who are again Jains, Hindus, Buddhists, and Christians. We cannot pretend that there is something to come to the nub of the issue. What is this happening? We have to, as journalists, we have to go into a deep dive to understand the real problem. And what is the real problem in India? Since you want to
superiority complex of the majority, majoritarianism, that's what's happening everywhere. Let's take that to Father Paul. Father Paul is also joining us, and Father Paul, what we see is terribly sad. First of all, I wish you a Merry Christmas. I hope you're having a good day, but thank you for joining us in the midst of your celebration. And I'm sure you feel strongly about what you see on our screens.
Thank you, Madam, very much. This is very organized affair. This is not an accidental thing that is happening all over India. Why is it happening now? You see, recently, the RSS chief said, we do not want to change the constitution. What he wants to say is the culture of India must remain, and they will make the culture of India not secular, but Hindutva, and that is the aim of our intimidation. It is really a fear psychosis being created among the Christians, and it's also a warning to the soft Hindu people, the ruling people. They are told that soft Hindutva is not possible. They want hard Hindutva, and that is it's a very Talibanistic Hindutva that they want. They are speaking about Santa Claus, against Santa Claus, because it is, they say, it is not against, it is against the culture of Kerala, of India. What is the culture of Kerala? India, what they say, speak of the culture, whatever is foreign to them must be avoided. I am asking you, is zebra line possible in India? Zebra line is something that you import from West. Is a technology. What is happening in medicine? Allopathy is completely imported from foreign countries. Is that possible in India? And also democracy. Democracy cannot be said an Indian product. It is something coming from Western countries. Is that possible in India? That is what is. Then we end up India ending up in like Afghanistan, Talibanism we say, and that kind of very Talibanistic, fundamentalistic attitude. That is it. It is violence against the minorities. Any religion which is taught of Indian origin, they will use any type of violence against this community. This is intimidating and creating a fear among the community, and that is by way that they want to impose a unilateral, unipolar, fundamentalistic attitude on culture. And
Father Paul,
I do not know why do they propagate yoga. If yoga is Indian thing, let it remain India. Why do they propagate yoga in all over the world? Why do they propagate Gita? And that is in the anything.
No. Yeah, let's not mix yoga. Yoga is an exercise. Yoga is great for health. Yoga may be a part, integral to Sanatan Dharma. But we have seen the beauty of yoga and the magic it has on physical health. Okay. So let's leave yoga aside, But what do you feel about Prime Minister Modi's outreach? Father Paul, Prime Minister Modi's outreach. Today in Modi's India, this has happened. But this is the same Prime Minister Modi who's reached out. If I could play those visuals of the Prime Minister reaching out to the Christian community. He was part of the entire mass today. And he put that out on his social platforms. That ideally a message that should ideally trickle down. It has not happened. But if you really look at the Prime Minister, he's done his bit in terms of setting the tone as of today.
Now the Prime Minister has to be very honest with himself. Is he speaking double? Is he using double speak? That is the question. Talking one thing to the leaders and acting something totally against it. That is the question that every Christian, every Hindu, Muslim has to ask. The Prime Minister has to be secular-minded, even-minded people, not double speak, speaking the same language to Hindus, same language to Christians.
Are you saying, Father Paul, that was a similar question I asked Rene as well. He said no. But I'm asking you, Father Paul, do you believe that the BJP government gives them a little bit of a cushion, these fringe groups, which is why they have this audacity and they're emboldened to carry out such attacks?
I doubt that indirectly they are supporting it. Otherwise, they will take action. They are not taking any action. That means they are indirectly supporting the fringe groups.
Okay. Advocate Sanjeev Unyal is also joining us. Advocate Sanjeev Unyal, here you have two people from the community who've spoken. One is a journalist, one is a father at a church. Both believe that instances of these violence are worrying, and though father says that Prime Minister Modi has reached out, that message has not gone down because there could be tacit support to these fringe groups, because no action really as such is being taken. You know, what's sad is that nobody is there. Now, if these instances have happened, nobody is going to be following up on a case because they're all worried that they'll be targeted. If they file an FIR against them, tomorrow they'll come around to target them. So all of these goons get away scot-free. But under the Modi regime, Prime Minister Modi setting the tone by meeting the Christian community, the same regime should also ensure suo motu action and FIRs against these goons. We have not seen that kind of action coming forward.
Luckily, I'll touch three incidents. The basics of Bharatiya Sanskriti is Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina Vasudeva Kutumbakam.
Exactly.
And it starts from the top man, who is luckily the Prime Minister of India. He's the ex-pracharak of Rashtriya Samsevak Sangh. What indication he has given? He's clearly given an indication that outreach program to go in the church is very important as far as Bharatiya Sanskriti is concerned. Now I will come to Rashtriya Samsevak Sangh. Sarsang Chalak Dr. Mohan Bhagwat recently in 2019-2023 gone to 13 bishops, 13 churches. That was the outreach program of Rashtriya Samsevak Sangh. What is their mool mantra? संगठन गढ़े चलो सुपंथ पर बड़े चलो भला हो जिसमें देश का वो काम सब किए चलो भूल कर भी मुख में जाति पंथ की ना बात हो भूल कर भी मुख में जाति पंथ की ना बात हो भाषा प्रांत के लिए कभी ना रक्तपात हो. This is the ideology. This is the morning prayer of Rashtriya Samsevak Sangh. In 70,000 and lakhs of Samsevaks chant this Geet in their shakhas. And moreover, you see the Christianity, if this type of ideology could be very cruel, very brutal, or could be doing what so many people, only 13, 15 or 40 people you have seen in your cameras, what they are doing. That is not a planned attack. Few people, you are repeating those pictures. I was counting in one picture that was Lajpat Nagar, only 2, 1 woman was there. Again, 5 men are here, total 18, 20 or 22 people were there. That is condemnable, undoubtedly. But that is not a plan of Rashtriya Samsevak Sangh or Bharatiya Janata Party. Nobody from the stage has said you have to attack Christians. Otherwise, you see what is the population in 1952 of Rashtra. I was going through that data.
But is it not a point of concern that these people are coming from the same crop?
Let me complete.
The same DNA?
You have given an ample chance to both these fathers.
I'm not stopping you. I'm only adding to my question for you only. You can only answer, sir. But is it not concerning that these people come from the same DNA? They are right-wing fringe groups. They're groups that hold the same ideology.
Now, if you are saying DNA, then Rashtriya Samsevak Sangh, Sarsang Chalak said, all our DNA are same. Yours, these fathers, mine, and Jain also. We belong to the same DNA. Why you are talking about DNA? We are not different. We are one.
Sir, again you are hinting at Garvapasi. Instead of condemning, you are saying you are hinting at Garvapasi.
But We have the same DNA. This has been said by the Rashtriya Samsevak Sangh, Sir Sangh Chalak ji, Dr. Mohan Bhagwat.
That's precisely what they're exercising. That
Delhi.
you are traditionally Hindu. You are converted people. Don't stop. Get rid of your foreign culture and come back.
If here people are chanting Hanuman Chalisa, what's wrong in it?
At a Christmas celebration, it's not. You don't see anything wrong in it, sir.
If someone is chanting Hanuman
Sir, you don't see anything wrong in the fact that people have marched into a Christmas celebration and are singing Hanuman Chalisa. You do not see anything wrong in it.
We will chant Hanuman Chalisa. How you can stop us to chant Hanuman Chalisa?
Sir, you are not. They're singing outside a church on Christmas Day.
Then
that's not provocation according to you.
Christmas is there. I am supposed to chant Hanuman Chalisa.
Outside a church, you will chant outside a church deliberately. That's intimidation, right?
No,
you're an advocate, sir. You know what intimidation means.
You are doing a blame game. What is your narrative? Why you are doing this program? I don't know. Nobody in the newspaper, nothing is there. Only 50, 30 people are there. They will be booked. And
outside a church on Christmas Day, when Christmas Mass and Christmas celebrations are on and prayers are on, outside a church, you have multiple of these men threatening, intimidating and singing Hanuman Chalisa, and that seems okay for you. That's shocking.
But you are doing a blame game on Bharatiya Janata Party or an ideology. These people has to be booked. They are not the real Bharatiya Janata Party.
So that's the limited point, that they must be booked. Do not justify their act, sir. Please. That's wrong to say on national television. That's a wrong statement to send out.
I'm not saying they should not be booked. I'm saying they should be booked.
That's it.
But not.
So you just said, is it wrong to sing Hanuman Chalisa?
Bharatiya Janata Party or Rashtriya Samsevak Sangh or VHP in the witness box.
Sir, all of these states have BJP governments currently ruling.
Not a top leader of any party, any ideology.
But BJP governments are currently ruling in all these states where acts of such violence have happened. We will ask the government. Who else will we ask?
In China, they can celebrate in China? No. They cannot celebrate in Pakistan.
I find it very insulting to India when people compare India with China, compare India with Pakistan, compare India with Bangladesh, compare India with France. I'm sorry, India is not any of these countries. We are distinct. We are India for a reason. Right?
We are diverse.
You are insulting India by comparing us to anyone else. But
that's why we are going like anything. That's why we are the third economy. Vishnu temple has been demolished. Have you seen?
No.
30 feet Vishnu temple.
Sir, that is no way. You're basically justifying the act of violence by saying that.
I'm not justifying. You are putting your words in my mouth?
You're saying you're saying Christians are more safe in a country where less violence is happening versus another country where more violence is happening.
You cannot. Prime Minister, ex Bharatiya Janata Rashtriya Samsevak Sangh, Sir Sangh Chalak ji has said, and ex Pracharak for Rashtriya Samsevak Sangh, who is supposed to be the Prime Minister of this country, has outreached to the Catholic Church. That speaks volume about the ideology of Rashtriya Samsevak Sangh, Bharatiya Janata Party. You cannot blame them. But the persons who are doing this could be 50, 40, they should be booked. This is my version. This is my point of view.
All right. Nikhil Jain, go on.
First of all, a very merry and a very happy Christmas to all your viewers. And Nabila, secondly, congratulations to you that you're taking up this topic. I don't think any other primetime show in the country is talking about this very concerning string of incidents, because unlike Mr. Unyal would like to paint it, this is not just a stray incident by some 20 goons. These are a string of incidents that are happening across the country. And unfortunately, this is not surprising to me anymore. In the past few years, we've grown up to, sort of hearing such incidents by these two very groups. Every time there is an Eid procession or a Christmas celebration or an Easter celebration, basically anything that is a celebration of any religion other than their own idea of Hinduism, that is a problem for these people, which just points to the growing intolerance.
You're telling a lie?
Mr. Unyal, I was not interjecting you. Can you please, Mr. Unyal, I was not interjecting you. Can you please
mend your words?
Can you please, Mr.
Go on, Nikhil.
Mr. Unyal, I wasn't interjecting you, so I hope you can extend that courtesy to me. And if you really want me to pull out an article about some disturbances that were created by the Bajrang Dal or the VHP on an Eid event or an Eid celebration, I'll do that in the course of the debate. But let me please make my point. Nabil, as you clearly pointed out, that these incidents are all happening in states that are ruled by the BJP, which goes to the length of the kind of, which sort of evidences. Mr. Unyal, can we please have a civilized debate? Mr. Nyal, you're an advocate. I am one. Can we please have a civilized debate? Can we have some decorum on the show? Nobody was interjecting when you were speaking. Why do you feel the need to interject me? Can I please make my point in peace? So, Nabila, the point that
Yeah.
I'm trying to raise here is that there may not be an explicit from the stage proclamation of support and alliance with the VHP and the Bajrang Dal from the BJP or the RSS or Prime Minister. But let me remind your viewers that the support for VHP and the Bajrang Dal is fierce by the current ruling dispensation, which is Prime Minister Modi, BJP, and the RSS. Let's not forget that Graham Stein's incident was perhaps the first incident when something, really religiously intolerant was done against a Christian in India, where a person was burnt alive on charges of being a missionary when he was just helping patients with leprosy. He was burnt alive along with his kids. One of the key accused in the case, Pratap Sarangi. Who is Pratap Sarangi right now? He's a BJP member of parliament who now goes around, giving wild accusations against the leader of opposition. You had the Bilkis Bano case where a woman was brutally raped, gang raped by 11 individuals. Her entire family was killed. Her unborn fetus was taken out. These people were convicted by a court of law. What happened next? The Gujarat government, run by the BJP, pardoned them. They were called onto a stage, and BJP leaders were sharing the stage and calling them good Brahmins. Because I don't know how does it make a good
Yeah,
Brahman
but
out of a
Nikhil,
person if
specifically
they're gang
speaking
raping or
about
murdering a woman.
instances of such nature, well, okay, leaving politics aside, Prime Minister Modi has also reached out to the Christian community. He's the BJP says he's done his bit to set the tone. Fringe elements are not associated with the government. You cannot link them with us. That's the BJP's clear stand, that we are not giving no support to them. They are criminals. They condemn it. But a strong condemnation has not come in as yet.
To Pratap Sarangi? Why did they give a ticket to Pratap Sarangi? Is he a Nobel laureate? Has he been working for the farmers, the laborers? Is he an intellectual? Is he an astronaut? Is he a scientist? Who is he? Why does he get a ticket from the BJP? Why did Pragya Thakur get a ticket from the BJP? That is patronage enough. Of course, the Prime Minister of the country cannot come to a stage and say, oh, I want you guys to go and burn churches. I want you guys to go and rape women, Muslim women. That's not something that happens. Let's not pretend to be so daft. Even the Taliban would not say that from stage.
Subject here.
The fact is that there is strong patronage given to these wild extremists and fringe groups. And Mr. Ibrahim, you raised an important point that such incidents are happening across the world. Yes, indeed they are. And you also blame those incidents on Islamist, radical and extremist groups. I 100% agree with you. Now, in the same line, will you also call the Bajrang Dal and the VHP as radical extremist groups? Will you call for their ban? Because that is what, when the Congress, promised a ban on this fringe group called Bajrang Dal, it was the Prime Minister himself going out in rallies and saying, "Arey Bajrang Dal ko kaise ban kar denge ye log? How can they ban Bajrang Dal? Bajrang Dal activists do very good work." Fact of the matter is, these are goons. These are not activists. They are people who are, promoting religious intolerance in the country. They are sending the rule of law in the country to the dustbin, while the BJP ruled governments in different states across the country are sitting silent with a finger on their lips, and that is enough patronage.
All right.
The Prime Minister going to a cathedral once a year does not change anything.
As I have barely 30 seconds, Reni Abraham.
Yeah, Mr. Jain, I just wanted to cite that you pointed out Sadhvi Pragya Thakur, who has just been acquitted of the Malegaon bomb blast case. To still cite her as a criminal, I think is illegal and libelous. May you please go back to whatever. My 30 seconds allow me to just make a couple of points. I agree with you. There are fringe elements in every segment. There are hardcore Christian militants elements. And to Father Paul, I'd only like to say one thing. Have we forgotten the Malabar mutiny? When there were over 300 Hindu and 200 Christian families who were massacred in Kerala. Then state of Travancore. So these are all historical facts. If we don't want to look at history in an objective fashion, we're going to do this whataboutery about this happened.
We can't be looking at history when your current day is marred with violence, right? Where we got to look at your current situation at hand. You can't keep going back into history and this happened then, so we'll take revenge today. That can't be the approach.
But Nabila, what is happening today? Wait a minute, Nabila. What happens today is you've seen in Maharashtra and in Mumbai how the hardcore MNS activists, for example, went out their frustration on.
No, I understand, but sir, Rene, as per what you're saying,
law and order problem.
Yeah, as per what you're saying, I feel like Muslims of India today are paying the price for what the Mughals did. What fault of the Muslim of today in India, what is their fault? But they get targeted and they get, vilified and cornered because of what the Mughals did. So it's
You're
just
right.
basically
See, you're
that
right. You're
you
right.
go back
You're
to
right in
history, then
stating that to
there's
an extent
lots
of
of
what is
dark chapters in
the
history, but
narrative.
you can't blame you can't blame the generation of today, right? But
Nabila,
that's all I
give me a
have time
moment,
for.
please.
That's all I have
Okay.
time for. Father Paul, a quick final word.
Can I get
What
10
would be
seconds
your
on
message
Pragya
to the
Thakur?
government? What would be your message to the government, Father Paul?
Very simple, madam, that there is violent fringe elements there. Their violence is not properly met with the law and order situation. The government is indirectly seen to be supporting these violent groups, and that is extremely fearsome. They are creating fear in the community. They are creating also violent ways of doing things, and that must be stopped. The government is not doing anything. They are simply tolerating. They are only implicitly allowing them to do their business. This is very agonizing. This is threatening the democracy of India. This is highly vulnerable people, and this is not. We speak of Vasudhaiva Kudumbakam, but everybody in India must be considered as citizens within the country and respected and venerated and accepted as such. And that is the question we are facing. Democracy is under attack, and democracy has no future if these violent communities, violent fringes are taking law and order situation.
Absolutely. We completely agree with you, and we completely strongly condemn what has happened with the Christian community on Christmas Day. And this should not be tolerated, and we are here to ensure we give you a platform and a voice so the government can hear you, and I'm sure they have. They've watched this. They know what's happening. We're hoping that a strong stand is taken against it. That's all I have time for, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's hope it's a new year.
A quick break. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
सामने एक नया सुपरमार्केट खुलने वाला है। क्या करें कि मेरे पुराने ग्राहक भी रहें और मुझे नए ग्राहक भी मिल जाएं?
देखो, आप एक चाय कॉर्नर लगा सकते हो। चाय पीने पुराने कस्टमर्स रुकेंगे और नए कस्टमर्स भी आएंगे। इसके अलावा बिल्स और सेल्स देखकर हमें कितना
बहुत टायर्ड हो गई।
Take a date, not bites. No added sugar, प्रिजर्वेटिव के बिना डेट्स, बादाम, पिस्ता, काजू और शहद से तैयार किया गया लायन डेट्स नट बाइट्स। Lion Date Nut Bites.
2026, take notes. Manifesting for my little Miss Sunshine, tickles and giggles. Also wanna be a biker chick this time. And year 2026, only love for my people and myself to manifest my best life. Nature's cosmic energy. Now mine, natural diamond intention pendants.
मुफ्त दवा है और मुफ्त इलाज, सुविधा सबको, राहत है आज। माँ बच्चे का पूरा ध्यान हो, सभी निरामय आयुष्मान। घर घर नल जल है जीवन, सब लोग सुखी है घर आंगन। अब फसल सुनहरी लहराए, खुश हो किसान झूमे गाए। नव उत्थान नई पहचान, बढ़ता राजस्थान, हमारा राजस्थान।
Welcome back. Well, Bangladesh is on the edge. Weeks of violence and a shaky interim setup and streets simmering with anger. And into this turbulence walks a man who's long been absent but never irrelevant. After nearly 17 years of self-imposed exile, Tarique Rahman has now returned to Dhaka. He sent out a political message clearly with his arrival. It sent ripples across Bangladesh. The Bangladesh Nationalist Party, BNP, acting chairperson, Tarique Rahman, has arrived after 17 years of being away. He's arrived from London amid unprecedented security, traveling in bulletproof vehicles. Thousands of party workers lined the streets to welcome him. Rahman's homecoming is not symbolic. It is clearly strategic. He is expected to revive the BNP with Sheikh Hasina's ouster and the Awami League banned. The BNP looks at a resurrection. He wants to reposition the party as a mainstream national alternative right ahead of Bangladesh's upcoming national elections, which is scheduled for February. In fact, he returns as the son of former President Ziaur Rahman and former Prime Minister Khalida Zia, who remains hospitalized and unwell. In fact, adding emotional weightage for him and his image. Now, this moment unfolds against all the volatile backdrop. Remember, these are the pictures that we're showing you of Mr. Rahman and his family who've come down. And this comes right amid the Yunus government facing a lot of backlash over violence that's erupted in the recent past over a student leader's death, Usman Hadi. Violence erupted. In fact, a bomb blast was reported in Bangladesh just a day ago. And today, yet again, we're looking at another Hindu being lynched to death. So we're seeing some really troubling visuals from Bangladesh. And amid all of this, when elections are just around the corner, here is Tarique Rahman, who's come down. That's the man, the Hindu man who was lynched today. And that's sent shockwaves yet again. Now, in fact, this is deeply troubling and concerning at this point to see the minorities being targeted to such an extent. And all of this is happening under Nobel laureate Muhammad Yunus's interim regime. He is handling it, but clearly is doing a failed job of it. Now, while Bangladesh is currently on the edge, Tarique Rahman's arrival has really sent a lot of a political ripple across the country at this point. He's looking to come back, and what are his chances? BNP is recalibrating. They're distancing themselves from Jamaat, signaling a more pluralist posture and opening doors to old and new allies. But with the tide seemingly turning against the interim government now, it appears that the stage is certainly being set for Tarique Rahman's political resurrection. Will that really happen the way he wants to? We've got to wait and watch. But let me quickly bring in Salahuddin Shoaib Chaudhary, editor of Blitz Bangladesh. He's a journalist from Bangladesh. We also have Patikrit Pain, who is a foreign affairs expert, joining us. Patikrit Pain, your quick take. Are we looking at Tarique Rahman's entry into Bangladesh a strategic one? Is it really going to mean the BNP will revive itself? Will it spell good for Bangladesh ahead of these elections? Is he going to have a good impact on Bangladesh after Sheikh Hasina's ouster?
Well, BNP is a major political party in Bangladesh, and certainly his return gives a lot of optimism to the supporters of BNP. And certainly in this election, in the absence of Awami League, I'm sure BNP has a considerable amount of chance. But for Tarique Rahman, the situation and what lies ahead is not going to be an easy task, because in the last 16 months, what has happened that there has been a severe corrosion of institutions. You talked about attack on minorities. It has gone even ahead of that. Anybody who does not align to what the radicals believe or preach, then what happens, even the Muslims are getting targeted, burned down by terming them as Indian agent or Awami League agent. So for Tarique Rahman, it's going to be a tightrope walk. You know, the reason that they are distancing themselves from Jamaat is because today their main competitor in this election would not be Awami League, which has been banned, but the Jamaat-e-Islami, which today believes that they are in a position to, fight the election on their own and win. Apart from that, there is this National Citizen Party, which is the Chhatro Andolan formation, and Yunus himself, whether he is willing to give up his place voluntarily, that's a question mark. But the kind of decay of institutions, the kind of demoralization of the police forces that have happened, the kind of factionalism within the army that you can witness, it is not going to be very easy for Tarique Rahman, and he has to be a hands-on ground person to actually win the election and revive Bangladesh. He just returned.
But who else is there? Is there any other option?
He would be returning back. I think he's here for a few days. But he has to be a hands-on ground person, and he has to do he has an uphill task in front of him. So if you look at the kind of adversaries that you have in front of him, from the Indian perspective, I think it's a better option. I think there will be cautious optimism for India because, a functional working political party is far better than an NGO-driven government. Even then, I would say the kind of situation that you find within Bangladesh, it's going to be a tough task. First, to have an election in place, and then to govern and revive the country. Yeah. So Tarique Rahman is definitely an option. he looks and his speech today was very moderate, but whether it translates, it translates into peace on the streets of Bangladesh, that we have to wait and watch.
Patikrit, thanks very much. I really appreciate you on this story. We're slipping into a short break. We'll be right back with all our top stories. Stay with us.
अर्जुन कुछ भी पढ़े मेमोरी में नहीं रहता.
Take a date, not bites. No added sugar, preservative के बिना. Dates, बादाम, पिस्ता, काजू और शहद से तैयार किया गया. Lion Dates Nut Bites.
Lion Date Nut Bites.
Every champion's journey starts with second thoughts.
क्या हुआ?
Till they see it's possible and there is someone who truly believes in them.
एक दिन बहुत बड़ा आदमी बनना है ना?
Orchids, the international school, raising 85,000 champions across India.
पेंटिंग में पहली बार बिरला ओपस एश्योरेंस. 1 साल में पेंट को कुछ भी हुआ तो पेंटिंग वापस करके देंगे. रजिस्टर करो birlaopus.com पर.
सन डायरेक्ट लेकर आया है एक जबरदस्त नया टीवी पैक. यहाँ असली 2 साल का निवेश, 100+ चैनल्स, HD क्वालिटी बॉक्स और रिचार्ज की टेंशन 2 साल के लिए खत्म. तो अभी लगवाइए सन डायरेक्ट. यहाँ खर्चा नहीं, 2 साल का असली निवेश.
सन डायरेक्ट सब्सक्रिप्शन पाने के लिए अपने नजदीकी रिटेलर से जल्द ही संपर्क करें और घर पर सन दनादन.
चौथी सूरज किरणें छत पर, सोलर सिस्टम आया घर घर. बिजली पानी की कमी नहीं, उन्नत है अब इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर. इन्वेस्टमेंट अपार है, उद्योग है, व्यापार है, हर सपना अब साकार है. ये भजन लाल सरकार है. नवोत्थान नई पहचान, बढ़ता राजस्थान, हमारा राजस्थान.
Welcome back. Let's start with all our top stories. Mumbai gets a new airport. The Navi Mumbai International Airport formally commenced commercial flight operations on marking a major milestone for India's civil aviation sector. Navi Mumbai has entered India's aviation map as the city's second airport begins commercial operations, significantly boosting air travel capacity in the Mumbai metropolitan region. The first commercial flight, an Indigo service from Bengaluru, landed at the airport at 8 a.m. The aircraft was given a ceremonial water cannon salute as well, marking the airport's inaugural arrival. This was followed by the first departure from the airport, an Indigo flight to Hyderabad, completing the first arrival and departure cycle at the new facility. On day one, Indigo, Air India, Express, Akasa Air and Star Air are operating domestic services connecting Navi Mumbai International Airport to 9 destinations across the country. The airport is handling 15 scheduled departures on its first day. During the initial phase, operations will run for about 12 hours from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. with up to 24 daily departures planned to 13 destinations and capacity to manage 10 aircraft movements per hour. The airport was inaugurated by Prime Minister Narendra Modi on October 8th itself this year. The first phase of the 5-phase project has been built at a cost of 19,650 crores. Once fully completed, the airport is expected to handle up to 90 million passengers annually with dedicated cargo terminals and multimodal connectivity. From February next year, operations are expected to gradually scale up. Now, in the Unnao case, the trial court in the Unnao rape case recorded an inescapable conclusion that the investigating officer of the CBI did not conduct a fair investigation. The finding is now coming into sharp public focus after the Delhi High Court suspended the life sentence of former BJP MLA Kuldeep Sengar. The court has said these lapses caused direct disadvantage to the survivor and her family, despite the case being under intense national scrutiny. The Delhi High Court in its order had held that Sengar could not be treated as a public servant under the POCSO Act. This meant the charge of aggravated penetrative sexual assault was not sustainable, leading to suspension of his life sentence and grant of bail on technical grounds. The court records show that the trial court had flagged serious concerns over the CBI's handling of the probe, including delays in filing the charge sheet and the manner in which parallel investigations were conducted. These shortcomings weakened the prosecution's case at the crucial stage, in fact, Had the aggravated offence been firmly established under the correct legal provisions, Sengar would have faced a much stricter sentence. Instead, investigative failures and legal gaps have become central to the relief granted by the High Court. CBI has now said it will challenge the suspension of the sentence and bail before the Supreme Court through a special leave petition. Despite the bail order, Sengar will continue to remain behind bars as he is serving a separate jail term in the custodial death case of the survivor's father. Horrific road accident that's reported in Karnataka's Chitradurga district. Chitradurga district in Karnataka saw a sleeper coach bus that caught fire following a collision with a container lorry. At least 6 passengers were burnt alive when a private sleeper coach bus collided with a container lorry on National Highway 48 in Karnataka's Chitradurga. Police say the container lorry there jumped the road divider and rammed into the bus, which was travelling from Bengaluru to Shivamogga. The lorry driver was killed on the spot. There were 32 people on board the bus, including the driver and conductor. 21 passengers have been traced, shifted to hospitals. Several passengers are still missing, raising fears of a higher death toll. Prime Minister Modi has expressed deep sorrow over the loss and giving his condolences. He's announced an ex gratia of 2 lakhs from the Prime Minister's National Relief Fund for the next of kin and 50,000 for those injured. Meanwhile, a high-level team of the State Transport Commissioner has been sent to the accident site to conduct a detailed investigation. The team will examine the cause of the crash, assess safety protocols and submit a comprehensive report on that. Now, serious allegations of sexual abuse against a police personnel has surfaced from Tamil Nadu. A law student has accused a Tamil Nadu police head constable of sexually abusing her. In fact, he sexually abused her while she was aboard a Chennai Coimbatore train, and she recorded that. The young woman, whose identity is being protected under the law, alleged that the policeman who was travelling as a passenger touched her inappropriately during the journey. In a crucial development, police say the student managed to record that, and that's the video there as well, where they recorded the alleged misconduct on her mobile phone and immediately sent the video to the railway police force while the train was still en route to Coimbatore. While he was touching her, she recorded it and sent it to the railway police force. Action happened instantly. Based on the video evidence and her complaint, the railway police detained the accused at the Katpadi junction and registered a case. Officials said statements of the survivor and eyewitnesses are being recorded as part of the investigation. The incident has sparked widespread outrage now about women's safety. As Christmas and New Year's celebrations peak, delivery services across India could face major disruptions. Delivery workers linked to major platforms such as Amazon, Zomato, Swiggy, Blinkit, Zepto and Flipkart have announced a nationwide strike on December 25th and December 31st. The strike has been called by the Telangana Gig and Platform Workers Union along with the Indian Federation of App-Based Transport Workers. Participation is expected across metro cities and key Tier 2 centres. Unions say that protest is against worsening working conditions on app-based platforms. Workers allege that algorithm-driven systems frequently change pay structures, reduce incentives and impose tighter delivery targets without consultation. They claim earnings have fallen despite longer working hours, while ultra-fast delivery models have increased safety risks, encouraging dangerous driving. Workers also complain of sudden ID deactivations without clear explanations or grievance redressal. In fact, the unions are demanding transparent pay systems, protection against arbitrary suspensions, fixed rest breaks, health insurance, accident cover and pension benefits. They are also calling for an end to ultra-fast delivery models. The strike comes shortly after the government implemented the Code on Social Security, which mandates platform contributions to a welfare fund for gig workers. However, unions say key issues like minimum pay and safety remain unresolved. Thanks very much for tuning in. Merry Christmas.
Okay, 2026, take notes. Manifesting. More bubbles, less troubles. For my little Miss Sunshine, tickles and giggles. Also want to be a biker chick this time. Boom, boom.